Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that some stories and discussions in this episode of Radiant Resilience may touch on sensitive and potentially triggering topics. These may include themes of cancer diagnosis and healing, near death experience, spiritual trauma and transformation, grief and loss, fear of death, medical mistrust or alternative healing pathways, and emotional processing and energy work. Our goal is to share real life experiences in a respectful and empathetic manner, offering insights into the complexities of the human spirit and the journey towards resilience. However, we understand that some content might be difficult for listeners. We encourage you to prioritize your well being and discretion when deciding to listen. Please remember this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice or support. If you find yourself needing assistance, we urge you to seek help from qualified professionals or trusted support systems. Your mental and emotional health is important to us. Thank you for your courage and for joining us in a space of understanding and compassion. Welcome back, everyone, to Radiant Resilience. I have with me today Fran Bailey. She is an energy healer, author, and founder of the transformative Sheva Method, seeking harmony in energy, voice, and action. Blending her background in dance with a deep understanding of energy work, Fran developed this holistic approach to guide individuals towards spiritual growth, emotional healing, and authentic living. Since 2002, Fran has helped countless clients experience personal breakthroughs through chakra alignment, body-centered healing, and personal transformation. She is the author of Emergence, Reveal Your Essence, and launched the official Sheva Method training program in 2024 to empower others to become practitioners. Whether you're new to energy healing or on a deep personal journey, Fran's grounded wisdom and practical techniques will leave you feeling inspired, aligned, and connected to your true self. Welcome, Fran. How are you today?
Thank you, Tawny. I'm well. Excuse me if my cat comes in and out. She's actually on top of the desk. She always
Oh,
comes when I'm
no worries.
Yeah. Oh, she sneaks in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on here today. We have a couple of personal journeys that you're going to share with us today that I'm very interested in hearing. Why don't you? I'm going to let you start wherever you want to start. It looks like you've had a near-death experience, you've cured your own cancer. So I don't know what order those go in, but you go ahead and start wherever you feel comfortable sharing, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. I grew up in a metaphysical home
Okay.
and I went to a Christian Science camp, which is a religion, belief system, positive thinking, and mind over matter, and not a lot of meds, that kind of thing.
Which I've always
Um,
found very fascinating that they call it Christian Science. But then they really don't believe in a lot of medical intervention of anything, right? Is that correct?
yeah, I think the science is the physics,
Okay.
the metaphysical concept of, and that's how I interpret it. I'm not a devout Christian Scientist. I do go to medical. I had to
Yeah.
in certain situations, but the whole concept and idea is that we live in this sort of perfect instrument, and their concept, this body, this mind, this heart, this soul can actually communicate and heal yourself.
Yeah.
So that idea has always, I grew up that way, and that's always been that way. And that's part of the method. It's just that concept of, oh, yeah, we can do this because we
Yeah.
have this body is incredible, our
Yes.
bodies. And basically, I grew up with that and dance, et cetera, and went to Christian Science camp. And at age 12, we were going down really strong rapids.
Ooh.
And it was a female, all female. So there were like six canoes, and we were going around a bend. This is in Michigan, so the rapids were very strong. And
Okay.
this particular river hadn't been taken in 5 years. But here we go. So I'm going around a bend, and I see a canoe up this way and a log in front of it.
Oh no.
Yelling back, and I'm 12. And the first canoe, I don't know how I got first, but anyway, I'm holding onto the reeds along the edges of the river to stop. And so we portage over, each canoe goes over, and I'm the last one. And my canoe starts sinking. And it's, oh, well, we do now.
While you were in it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so my ankle got caught between another canoe and my canoe. So I was being pulled under. I was holding on, but I was being pulled under. And of course, at 12, you don't think too much about dying or everything's a joke, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I went, oh no, this is serious. And
Yeah.
so in a near death experience, time isn't, everything happens so quickly. We're closing my eyes and going through a tunnel and seeing the light and seeing these beings and recognizing the energies. And the light was brilliant and beautiful. And it was just this other time period. It wasn't this time, it was certainly something else.
Yeah.
And I heard a voice saying, "You're not ready yet."
Oh.
So I went, "Oh, well, I don't know what that means, but okay." So if you can imagine an umbilical cord going pulling back into your body, docking into the present body
Okay.
and catching your breath.
Yeah.
And there I'm off to another canoe sitting there and crying. And Christians, they don't make a big thing about death or dying, or it's not, they just present the idea and concept of love.
Do
And they
they
just,
believe in an afterlife of sorts?
oh, I think they do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they do. So anyway, I knew something had changed. I just didn't know what. And of course, later on in life, all these events started happening. And I went, oh, I think something changed. My soul changed, or something changed where I was going to,
Probably at 12 years old,
yeah,
to understand what was happening to you. I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like I might have at 12 years old waken up from that and been like, oh, that was just a weird dream while I was knocked out or something. Not actually acknowledging that as, oh no, that was like near death. And so
Yeah.
did it take you many years to process it like that?
Yes, yes. And then other experiences that I had in the dream states, I had also an ET experience, and that sort of woke me up as well. And
Okay.
those kinds of path. It was the same year.
Okay.
I think that at age 12, I completely did a, 360 turnaround, and I didn't realize what happened until I was started doing this work.
Can I ask you a very personal question? When did you like start puberty in that time frame?
Early.
Okay. So do you think they coincided a little bit or no?
Well, I started at 9.
Oh, wow. Okay. But
So
I
that was
mean,
like, yeah.
a lot of people, I guess nowadays is totally different. But I feel like when I was growing up, there was a lot in that 12, 13
Yeah.
range. So you'd already had several years where your body was in a
Yeah.
different.
I started, then I stopped, and then this whole thing happened, and it's kind
Wow.
of like a blur. It was like this, you could start your world over again, and this other person steps in. I felt like that sort of was what happened.
Okay.
Of course, you don't realize it until later. You push it away and push it away. And, as I got older, I could see things, know things. And I always did that as a young girl. Age 6, I started doing that. I thought everybody did. I had guides and I talked to them and sing and said, oh, well, everybody else has those too, don't they? No.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think we go through this period of, okay, I'm older. Now we're going to go back into that childhood and find out where that person is or who that person is and have her come forward so that we can understand the purpose of why we're here.
Yeah.
Basically, that kept with me. And then I started doing energy work. Someone said I could do energy, and I was teaching dance. And this alternative doctor said, you need to start training. And I went, okay, what does that mean? So I trained with a woman out of California. Her name is Rosalind Briere. She's a medical intuitive.
Okay.
And I was already doing this
Okay.
because it was just intuitive. Could
Yeah.
just know through dancing, through energy,
Mhm.
understanding the body.
Yeah.
Anyway, I started doing the energy healing and got certified and worked with doctors for 12 years. And I went, oh, I think I've got something that I'm doing. And I started doing deep meditation with 2 other clairvoyant healers, and bingo, that was it. I said, oh boy, The word Shiva was channeled to me in
Oh.
2002 when that was seeking harmony and energy, voice, and action. And basically, that's when the path started. Right before that, my father died
Hmm.
about 4 years before that, and three small babies, small children. And my husband was traveling, and my mom was freaking out. So I was holding all these different,
Hmm.
helping all these people, right? And my body broke down, and I got cancer.
Hmm. What may I
First
ask? What kind of cancer?
cervical, stage
Okay.
4.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and the doctor said, you have to take everything out. And I
Hmm.
went, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take everything out. And he said, oh, by the way, since you had twins, you should get a lift in your tummy. I said, what?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Isn't that a personal choice?
Oh,
Like,
I was at that point, I found a female doctor and I said, look, this is what I do. I'm training to be an energy healer, but I've been doing this all my life. I'm going to work in a positive frame. I'm going to do energy work, start killing the cancer cells on my own while we watch me. I have to go in every 3 months, do some sort of small procedure. But for 5 years, it was a long time.
yeah.
I would do energy work on that area. It's first, second chakra, so that's survival,
Mhm.
creativity. And I said, I'm whole. This is an interruption.
Yeah.
This is a very quiet procedure, very quiet path that I didn't tell anybody.
There's a lot of judgment, I think, especially
Yeah,
with cancer,
yeah.
when you don't seek the medical help. Because we've been conditioned, I think, to think that chemo is the only way to cure cancer.
When you're in that room, cancer patients all the time.
Mhm.
And so I was not afraid of it. We have cancer cells in us. We just do. It's just how our life proceeds. And if we're vulnerable and those things that come up, it's just a sign to tell you to slow down and
Yeah.
rethink and
Mhm.
reevaluate your life. And it's very personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I didn't talk about the healing I was doing because I probably thought I was crazy. I didn't tell my family. I didn't do
Oh,
any.
wow. So nobody really, maybe your
Well, they knew.
husband?
Yeah, but he didn't. I'm sorry, it just didn't compute with him.
Okay.
Just, I'm not going to
Yeah.
go there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and so that was the impetus of the method. I
Okay.
thought I can be the guinea pig, which I am at this work, then I think that I can teach it to others or the system or the suggestion. I
Yeah.
like the suggestion so that they take it upon themselves to heal themselves because I'm
Yeah.
just a facilitator.
Yeah.
It's down the walk, but that was the impetus. And then other things, other guides and things came in. Everybody came in and said the direction of where it would be going and downloading information about how and all that stuff. So it's been
So
a
you said it was 5 years of healing yourself, and you said you went to a doctor who checked you then regularly?
yeah. So it's every 3 months for 3 years, and
Okay.
then it's twice a year for 2 years.
Okay.
I mean, I was clean.
Yeah.
Fine. It's the process of you just have to keep going back and seeing.
Sure. And it's
But
nice to know your progress too, because you
yeah,
don't necessarily have you have the intuitive knowledge of your body and stuff, but you don't necessarily have like, actual facts of is the cancer going down or is it not? So,
yeah. So it was one of those, as I say, interruptions. We just
yeah.
go along with what is happening in the moment and carry on.
And how old were you at that point when you got the can?
I was 40, about 42.
Yeah, that's really young to get diagnosed with cancer. And stage 4, that's scary. So, what type of things did you do in those 5 years then?
I would lay in bed and put my hands on that lower area and say hello to the cells. And in energy work, you don't want to explode the cell of the
Mhm.
cancer cell. You want to go in the nucleus of the cell and kill it there and not explode it
Okay.
so that the cell can regenerate or just dissipate. So it's that kind of call where I actually said, okay, so if these cells are present, and I would actually visualize going right to the area.
Okay.
And so that's where the medical intuitive part of my skill comes in very handy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could just see it. I could just see it getting clearer and clearer and clearer. Plus the emotional component, which is very important, that I'm whole, I'm still female, I'm still sexual. It's okay to be fully female. Even if you don't, and I've worked with a lot of breast cancer patients, a lot of where they've taken everything out, and the same principle is it's an interruption. You're still whole. You still can maybe take some hormones or whatever. You are not changed. You've shifted. So let's look at the purity of yourself and how you look at life and how you proceed, and understanding that, wow, I can actually have a higher spiritual presence because I know my body still can function
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
this experience. And, that's the sort of the nut.
Okay. What do you, when you've worked with people with cancer before, how do you work through the emotional toll that takes? Because, like you're saying, you have to get to through that first and then maybe work on the physical aspect of it. So, for someone who's listening that's maybe going through that or has gone, like, how do you get over that hurdle? Because I think a lot of people end up upset, angry, scared, sad, all those things. Hi, friend, and welcome to this episode of Radiant Resilience. We are always looking for new guests on the podcast. I want to highlight you if you have a story of resilience that inspires others. Everyone has a story, and I believe that sharing yours can help others feel less alone. Are you ready to share your journey and inspire others? I want to hear from you. Every story has the power to impact lives and foster a supportive community. If you have a tale of overcoming adversity, personal growth, or a unique perspective on life's challenges, I would love to have you as a guest on the podcast. To become a guest, please email us directly at radiantresiliencepodcast@gmail.com or click the link in the show notes to become a guest. Join us in spreading hope, strength, and inspiration one story at a time. Be brave and share your story so others feel less alone. I hope to see you soon.
So I think the first thing is to look at death pictures.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just go right to the biggest fear. And of
Sure.
course, I'm human. Okay, what am I doing? Am I going to die? Am I going to make that choice? Am I going to leave my children, my husband? All these things could happen. And what if? I wasn't scared of dying because I already knew I wasn't scared of death.
Yeah, you had that near-death experience when you were 12.
So we do as humans experience what we call these death pictures of how it would be, how I would pursue, where am I going, all those things. And first of all, you want to get rid of those because you're going to live. You want to diminish the fear, and you want to start looking at the courage of how you're going to get to that next point. So it takes courage,
Yeah.
it takes love, it takes grounding, it takes releasing cords of the doctors, the medicine, the hospital, the surgery, the anesthesiologist, all those things.
Yeah.
So I do all that in this course of getting that person back in service to themselves
Yeah.
and to the humanity and community or family. So again, it's this impetus of it's a shift, it's a change, but really what you're gaining, I'm not saying cancer is good, but what you're gaining is the true you, is the real you.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I've got a friend who's going through it now, and she's got a lot of anger towards the interruption of she's young, so, experiencing it interrupted. She got engaged and then got diagnosed, and now she has not been able to have her wedding, and then her sister just had a baby, and she's probably not going to be
Mhm.
able to have a baby, and there's a lot of in
It's a
that
lot.
regard. So that's what I'm thinking of is the anger of the interruption too. I'm sure that goes pretty deep for people as well.
So I'm not saying disregard your
Oh,
sadness,
sure. Mhm.
your anger, experience it, but just know that in any situation, there is another viewpoint, there is another
Mhm.
side.
Yeah.
And those are hard. Those are hard.
Mm.
That's hard to swallow. That's a lot.
Yeah. 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 Cancer is crazy tough.
Yeah.
Oh, so tell me about the Shiva method then. And, when you came up with it in, you said 2002, is that right? And then what it has become now, because I think did you launch it already or are you about to launch it?
Yeah, I have it's a free download on my website
Okay.
of just the basics introduction. And then there's a level one and we're finishing level two and then continue on from there. So yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely in the works of being launched full
Okay.
gamut. So with the idea of body, mind, heart, soul, and personality,
Okay.
those components are all in this method. So I already knew about the body, so I was developing the technique to learn how to run energy on the body. So I use acupressure point, clearing the chakras, all that stuff. I use a roller and a mat. And then the next process is a very deep meditation. So you do a chakra clearing, grounding, understand knowing your guides, etc., clearing cords, contracts, all that kind of stuff,
Mm,
karma. And then the third component is Enneagram, which is a study of
mhm.
personalities. And I did 2 years of that to get facilitated. And that really helped do the full circle of, okay, if it isn't that, then it might be that. What pattern are you holding on to so that you can look at that energetically and then release those attachments to that pattern, thought, personality, behavior that you're having and see what happens.
Yeah.
So those components those are really interesting, putting them all together. So that's what the method's about. It's
Okay.
those, so it's meditation, body work, and the Enneagram.
And what did you say? How did you come up with the idea? You
What
said it was a download a little
Yes.
while ago.
So I
So,
was in a deep meditation and I was doing all these heavy duty deep meditations and this is 3 o'clock in the morning facing north, which
mhm.
is all about forward thinking.
Okay.
And this word, Shiva, came in the meditation. So they said seeking harmony and energy, voice, and action. So it's an acronym. So what you're seeking harmony, but it takes energy to get to move and it takes energy to act. So it's all that in harmony. The bottom line, the harmony is the love.
Okay.
So that's the basis. The foundation is always coming from the place of love, always.
Yeah. So all of your adult life, you've pretty much been doing all this energy work and healing for others and all that stuff.
Yep. Teaching dance my first career was dance, modern dancer, choreographer, that kind of thing. So it was just, it's really a choreographed piece.
Mhm.
I call it almost, it's like an art. It's a healing art that's designed for you to experience. And I think within that experience is the observation of your life, the intrigue of changing,
Yeah.
the ability to do that through love, and so that you can communicate what you really want in
Hmm.
this life to find your purpose, etc.
Yeah. So, for anybody who's listening who knows nothing about energy work or doesn't understand any of this, can you give a little? I know there's so many different facets to it and so many different directions, but just for somebody like, I have no idea what these people are, can you give a little overview of what energy healing and work looks like? And especially in regards to your body, because that seems to be what you're really working with.
Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. I channeled something this morning. There are two things. I did a clearing this morning and channeled this idea and concept of releasing energy. So what does that mean? Releasing what? For instance, if you place an idea or a little bubble out in front of you, past the edge of your aura, which is the width of your arms, way this way, behind, above, and below. That is your energy field. Just like anything, like a tree has an energy field, everything has an energy field. Everything is energy. Everything. If you have a thought or an argument or something that's stuck in your energy field, and you say, okay, well, that's a behavior that I keep doing, and it's not taking me anywhere. So if I ask you to put that thought in a circle out in front of you, say, okay, I want to release that thought that's attached to behavior. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to release that thought that is attached to behavior that is not serving. At the same time, I'm not going to blame someone else's. I'm not going to blame someone else in my reaction. This is my reaction.
That's so hard. I think a lot of people, it's easier to blame someone else than it is yourself sometimes.
Of course it is, but
Yeah.
the observer, I'm getting behavior that's not working for me because I'm getting the same reaction from that person. You with me?
Yep.
So, what if I change my behavior? Maybe something will change with that person. I don't really know, but I'm going to do the work myself. So, I'm going to put that thought that's attached to a certain behavior on the circle out in front of me. I call this a karma cleanse. This is like a karma cleanse.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask that energy to be released on some discs, like Tootsie Roll Pops or something, on the pop. And you get a certain number. And you shoot the pop when those are filled. Maybe they're 5.
Okay.
And then you go look at the circle. Is the circle clear or is it cloudy? And then you do it again. Then you ask how many discs? Maybe 3. You clear that thing and then you shoot it out. You take that circle and drop it down to the center of the earth, scan your body and bring in new earth and cosmic energy. So what happens? Something, and then the question I ask is when you release it, what is your body doing? That's energy.
Yeah.
That is because that's the pull, that's the thought that. So what's usually it hits the third chakra is that, okay, then you start looking at the body and you start releasing that. So it's really about observing.
Yeah. I find that it took me many years to pay attention to what my body was telling me. And to be able to recognize those things as, oh, especially during meditation and stuff like that, when you're like, all of a sudden, I don't know, like an elbow pain or something random. And then I do a deep dive into like why and
Yeah.
when that was happening. And so, what do you tell people who are just starting to discover this about their bodies to pay it like, I don't know. And I guess I've figured it out more later in life as I've had other experiences in life versus when you're young, it's harder to pay attention to that stuff. I think you're just not thinking, oh, my body's telling me these things. So if someone's listening who has struggled to listen to their body, what do you recommend for that?
Again, just observe, and you don't have to go into a deep dive. Just know that the body is responding. It's that simple. And then just play with it. You're going to find your own way. If you just play with it, take a deep breath where that's being held and see, wow, let's see if I can just let that go or allow it to let go or say, you're free to go.
Yeah,
That's big.
that's
It
really
took me a
big.
long time to say that. But if
Yeah.
you think about that, okay, you're free to go. You're not blaming anybody. It's not an analogy. It's just a statement.
Do you recommend saying that out loud?
If you need to, if you want to, sure.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own. I don't have any restrictions.
Mhm.
Just it's just suggestions that. But I love that statement, and I think in any kind of relationship too, if there's any kind of tension or problem, whether that the problem becomes senior, and you say, okay, that problem is you're free to go, and that it's like, oh, I'm back in. It
Mm.
gives you the ability to sit in your own energy and take a breath and say, yeah, it's okay.
Be at peace with it and then release it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so simple. We just have these guards and these personalities, this stuff that we've been building for years to think what it
Mhm.
is. But we are now at a point where the veil is thin. And we are now
Mhm.
at a point where all this telepathic stuff, this ability to heal is so apparent and so real. So that's why I'm just thrilled that this energy is here. And that's where my impetus comes from. It's just that we all can do that. I really like that.
Yeah, yeah, you just got to do the work, right with anything.
Yes, with anything. But it's just a different take. And I think the fear comes is that you don't know. But the point is, okay, what are you going to do? Do you want to stay where you are? Or do you want to open that door and it's black and jump? What
Yeah,
the
I
hell?
mean,
What
yeah.
the hell?
What do you have to lose with this kind of work? It's not the medical industry where you take
Yeah.
that pill and then you're going to have all these side effects and you might die because that's one of the side effects.
Oh, yeah, that great commercial. Like, really?
I
Huh.
know. I personally just wish they would stop advertising all that stuff on TV. It irritates the hell out of me to even. I mean, commercials irritate everybody.
I
And
know.
then they're the medication stuff, and you listen to those side effects, the list that they go on, and I'm like, why would anybody go, yeah, I'm gonna mention that to my doctor? It's crazy to me.
So you're
But
really your own boss.
yeah. Yeah, and I've found that a lot of people lately too have struggled with advocating for themselves in the medical industry or medical world as well. Unfortunately, I think doctors and nurses and stuff are very overworked and they don't have the time to sit and spend with you. And that's not necessarily their fault, but to spend the time to listen to you, it's easier to just be like, okay, what's your problem? Okay, here, this is how you fix it. Bye. Have a good day.
Mhm.
And then people don't feel like they're being helped. And so I think that's probably opening the doors to a lot more holistic healing and just being more educated on, I don't want to go political, but big pharma and all that stuff too, that there are other ways that you can do this. And I think our bodies truly are amazing. We need to give them more credit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is. It really is amazing. And I think that your investigation on what's right for you and question, maybe that isn't, maybe what the doctor said isn't, may not be right for me.
Yeah.
I will collaborate with him or her because of these studies I've made for myself and then bring that information. They're looking too. These doctors are what happened. That's a hard place to be right now.
Yeah.
Well, not fun.
I love that part of your story that you worked with a doctor that was okay with working with you on the way that you wanted to heal yourself. No, and presumably if it became life threatening and they saw that, they would be like, okay, Fran,
Yeah,
let's talk about this a little bit further. And then you can still decide. That's up to you.
exactly.
So I think that's really cool. And then finding people that will be in your corner and support you, however that looks, if that's just doing scans every few months or whatever, or doing the actual chemo, whatever you choose to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had a patient. She was a young girl and she had what's called Wilms disease, and that's kidney cancer in the kidney, and that happens to
Mm.
young girls. And so the kidney exploded.
Oh my gosh.
There's cancer everywhere. And I'd been working on her prior to this. And she only wanted me to come in the hospital
Mm.
to work on her. I needed, I can smell chemo or all the drugs that are, I could smell all that stuff. And I said, look, I want you to come to my house outside all of the medical stuff. So there was a point where this is pretty tough. But anyway, she was on my table. I was doing energy work, and I can go to spirit, I can go to her spirit, I can go to those higher levels. And they had a dog, and I went to the other side and saw the dog, and she came with me, basically, her spirit did. And I said, you have a choice. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? And spirit said, I want to stay.
Oh.
So I never told her that, but I knew, and she knew. It's amazing. It can really, those combinations of whatever this is, this experience of our spiritual ability and our conscious ability to tap into both, and it was pretty cool. So she's living, very happy. Yeah, it's a beautiful little girl. Well, she's
Oh,
not now, she's a woman.
yeah.
Isn't it
That's
great?
that is amazing. And that is so cool that you get to have that impact on people too. That's
It's
so
very
amazing.
humbling. Very
Yeah.
humbling. And it's not something that I usually share, but
Mm.
it was
Well,
pretty cool to experience that.
yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Talk to me about overcoming the fear of death and life. You put that on there too, but let's talk about death because I think a lot of people have that fear. So, how does one, do you recommend get over that fear?
I'm going to pull in death and loss
Okay.
because I think that we're all going through a little death right now.
Okay.
We're all going through a little loss right now, the country and what's happening. Those fear pictures pull in death pictures.
Ah,
What do I do? Where do I go? Should I leave? Should I stay? Do I want to be a part of this? Do I want to fight? Do I want to stay? What do I want to do? So I would say that is, and this has been coming up, and that's why I'm doing this meditation. Actually, I'm going to do that today or tomorrow, adjust on that concept. Loss is loss. Job, parent, lover, husband, wife, child.
mm,
Loss is loss. It's the grief. And when I say that, your body goes like that, right? Is it
yeah.
just, oh my God, you touched on something, you tapped into something.
Mhm.
Yes, that grief is huge. We're seeing that
Mm.
every day. So I would say that just remember that we all are going through this at the same time.
Yeah.
There's grief, there's anger, grief, hurt, anger, grief, hurt, sadness. When you let go and begin to understand that the sadness is being sad, but it's experiencing an emotion. And if you go through the grief, go through the grief, but understand that on the other side, there is courage to live. So I think that's probably the antidote.
Okay.
Courage to live. Loss is there's loss. We have loss all the time. It doesn't mean we don't experience it.
Yeah.
It means we move through it.
Yeah. You really have no choice but to a lot of the times.
Or you can go around and deny it, but it's
Uh,
going to come back. It's going to come back.
yeah.
So it's courage to understand what it is. And that death is, we're in this, it's eternal.
Yeah.
And I went up to see the dog's still there.
Yeah.
We just change body. Our spirit is there, our soul. We are the soul.
Yeah. this is slightly off topic, but my husband and I were just talking about animals having souls too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, and it's so interesting because like you see, we have a dog and she just has the most fun personality. And I think, I mean, you look at birds outside and they have different personalities. The squirrels have different personalities. And so it's got to mean that they've got souls too. And I think that's really cool too to think
But
about.
I think the animals are teaching us,
Yeah.
especially now. Look at them. They're already there. They're already in that divine. They don't fear death.
Yeah. I mean, they have to deal with that every day in Mother Nature.
Nature. And I remember I had this cat named Ava, and she would actually work on patients with me. She would have to be in the room. She would, she'd have to be in the room on the table, and I'd have to ask. I said, I have a cat that works with me, and you must think I'm just crazier than I do. Her name is Ava. She would get up, I would be here, and she would be here, and I would move, and she would move in the opposite direction. So everything is opposition in the body. So we would be running energy at the same time on this person.
That's cool.
Imagine how close we were.
Yeah.
So an animal doesn't fear dying, and she was dying. I saw her jump off the bed, and her soul left.
Oh.
Her body doesn't know that they don't feel it. They don't know it.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's what we do.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
The unconditional love that they are showing us. Look at Instagram with all the kitty things and all that. It's so obvious to me. That's what they're teaching us.
Yeah.
They're teaching us about living and about dying and about existing.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. I've done some traveling and done some safaris and stuff and seen, like the
Oh,
real, seeing those animals in their real,
how
environments
cool.
is so cool. And I'll share this story. There was a wildebeest in Africa that had just had a baby and a hyena had snagged it, and I like this wildebeest just had this baby. Like the umbilical cord was still hanging and things. And it was really hard to see because the mom was, she's freaking out. But this hyena snatched her baby. But then looking at that, you're like, but that's the circle of life right there. And that is real. This is their habitat. It's not like looking at them at the zoo where that would never happen. You'd never see that because then nobody would go to the zoo anymore. But it was just so crazy to see. And it was so sad. But at the same time, it was like, oh no, this is their lives every day.
Mhm.
They're facing death every day.
Yeah.
Predator.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe not see that, but I would love to.
Yeah, it is. There is something very different. I grew up going to the zoo and stuff as a kid, as we all have. And there's just something so different. You wouldn't think so necessarily, but seeing them in their actual habitats is just so much cooler.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, can you tell me about your book? You said you wrote a book.
Look,
Yeah.
this is my book.
Okay. Emergence.
Emergence.
I love the cover.
Thank you. And it has, all kinds of colors and
Oh, it's so pretty.
yeah, and it has all the chakra colors. And so it's basically about physics and surviving and the foundation of love and the method, of course, and chakra clearing and just lots of quotes. Let me see if I can see one for you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
So the first assignment is to hold a book in your hand and put your energy in it.
Any kind of book or?
Oh, no, this book.
Oh, that book specifically. Okay.
That's when you put your energy in because it's for you.
Okay.
And I have these for sale at my house.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. So this is something I wrote and called Forgiveness. Imagine forgiveness as an impetus to freedom. Forgive and free yourself from all the wrong you think you have done. Patiently weight, allowing this concept to arise and integrate within you. Feel yourself letting go of all judgment. When you are ready, release guilt, shame, blame, or doubt coming from you or others. Bring attention to the inner voice. It can reveal the truth and set you free to unveil a deeper connection to the higher creative self. Experiment with the idea that divine energy is always beside you, waiting to be accepted. Breathe. Listen, let go, and live in love. Treasure life's magical experience and witness all that is while embracing the human connection in love and harmony.
That hit me deep. Oh, wow. I will share with you and my listeners. I just recently left. I'm a hairdresser, and I recently left the salon I was at for 11 years. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but I decided to come be closer to home, and a multitude of reasons. And I have been struggling with guilt over that for a multitude of reasons. I was best friends with the owner of my old salon, and it was really hard for both of us, and me feeling guilt over that and stuff. So you hit the nail on the head for that with this chapter of my life right now.
There you go.
That was a good message that I needed to hear. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So if somebody wants to join the Sheva Method or work with you, what does that look like?
So you can go to my website, franbaileyhealer.com. There's a free download of the method.
I will put that in the show notes too. So if anybody needs a quick access, check out the show notes.
Yeah, so there are a whole bunch of meditations that I've done and recorded. I usually work in threes. And if you want a big change, a real change, I usually do it in 3 sessions. They're really intense, but it gets you going because I move pretty quick. And then after that are like tune-ups. And you just do like check-in kind of thing. Or there's just one-on-one, or there's the book, and I can send one to you and sign it. Yeah, there's just all kinds of goodies on there. And
now, do you do virtual and in person then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Virtual. Since COVID, I've had to do that. And so I can really see energy either on this or at home. And I do, if you come to my house, then I usually do like energy work on the table, or I just do the straight right in front of me. You're sitting right in front of me, and we'll do a reading, we'll do your guides, we'll do all that stuff. And we'll get you all pumped up for the next 10 years of your life.
Amazing.
Anyway, it's fun stuff. Or I do a free consult, 15-minute. You can check with me. You can email me, franbailey.sheva@gmail.com, or just message me through my website.
And that's Sheva. It's SHEVA for those listening, not IVA. And you're in Ohio, is that correct?
Right, I'm in Cincinnati.
Okay. So if anybody listening wants to do in person, or do you travel at all?
I do. I travel. I'm in South Carolina right now, so I do some work around here as well. And yeah, I can go anywhere.
Okay. Amazing. Do you have any parting words for my listeners?
Oh, just love, trust, observe yourself in this time of chaos, and know that you are in God's hands.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your personal story and sharing all the amazing ways you're working with people. I think you're quite the light in this world. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tawny. I'm thrilled that you made that transition. I know it's scary, but you did the right thing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, I know I got to get through this. I just did it March 1st.
Oh.
It's very, very fresh, but yes, we will get there. I just got to be patient. All right, Fran, thank you so much for coming on. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you enjoyed our conversation and found value in the stories shared, please consider following us on your preferred podcast platform. Your ratings and reviews make a huge difference. They help us reach more listeners and continue bringing you engaging, insightful content. We appreciate your support and would love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Until next time, keep listening, growing, and sharing.